As a black man in America, it is extremely hard to date sometimes, especially if you're one of these guys that is not interested in the sisters. So in this video today, I'm going to show you the 3 mistakes you're making in your dating game as a black man. The 3 major mistakes that I've learned over the course of my entire dating career that you're making as a black man if you're trying to date in America. This doesn't go for the black guys that go overseas, all the passport bros. This doesn't apply to you. This applies to guys that are trying to date red-blooded American women. If you're one of those guys, then this video is for you. The first mistake that you're probably making as a black guy trying to date outside of your race is being too nice. You're being too nice. You're being too nice. A lot of guys, when they meet a girl, they try to be Mr. Nice Guy. They try to sugarcoat their personality, act like they can do no wrong. They are essentially simps. That's the word I'm looking for. I didn't want to use it, but that's the word I'm looking for. They're essentially simps. You know, when I was a teenager, when I first moved to America, I went through this whole simp arc as well. There was this girl. There was this one girl, and I'll tell you guys exactly what happened. But I would follow this girl around like a little puppy dog. I'd invite her over to my apartment every day. I'd keep asking her out. I'd take her on a bunch of fancy dates. I went to all kinds of movies, concerts, all kinds of different events with this girl, right? Trying to get a box. But the mistake I was making was I was being way too nice. I was being so nice that I would go with her to meet up with her other friends, which included other dudes. And I would be there relegated to the corner, being way too nice and not showing any actual interest in the girl, right? I mean, obviously I showed interest, but I didn't show enough interest. Being too nice will nip any opportunity you have of dating the girl or getting with her in the bud, you know? And this girl, she knew what she was doing. Girls, most of the time, know what they're doing. They know they can use you, especially if you're acting like Mr. Nice Guy. Whether you're faking the nice guy persona or not, they can see right through it. So your first mistake is being way too nice, going out of your way to accommodate for this other person, putting everything on the line. Because to be honest, from a girl's perspective, when you're Mr. Nice Guy, when you're trying too hard, when you're doing all of this extra stuff, it shows that you're desperate. It shows that you have no game. Because if you had game, you wouldn't be acting nice. You wouldn't care. You know? With this particular girl, I went out with her for 6 months. And when I say went out, I meant out as friends. Went out as friends. The farthest I ever got was maybe making out with her once. Right? Because I was just being Mr. Nice Guy. Oh, do you need a ride? Oh, are you hungry? Oh, do you want to go to this concert? Oh, do you want to go to the movies? Mr. Nice Guy. That's the biggest mistake you can make with a girl. That's the biggest mistake you can make, especially as a black guy. You know, they're not expecting you to be Mr. Nice Guy. They're expecting you to be a leader, to be assertive, to be a little bit aggressive. In fact, I would say that being Mr. Nice Guy leaves a disappointed taste in their mouths. So if you're trying to get the girl, the first thing you need to do is stop being Mr. Nice Guy. Stop pretending to be nice. Just be yourself. Because like I said, being nice is a signal that you're desperate. Number 2 is not talking about other girls you've been with the girl. The biggest mistake you can do if you go out on a date with a girl that you're interested in is pretend like you have no other girls that you've been talking to or that you've talked to in the past. It makes you look weak. It makes you look like you have no game. I would argue that if you want to get laid, if you want to get that girl, you should tell her about all of your sexual exploits. You know, in the past, guys, I went out with this one girl, right? We met up. She came over. We were chilling. We were talking. We were watching TV. I was acting like I was Mr. Nice Guy in the very beginning, acting casual. And the girl straight up told me, tonight we are not going to have sex. I'm not interested in having sex with you tonight or ever. I see you more as a friend. I see you more as a friend. Told me this straight to my face, right? Some guys commit the mistake of getting upset when they get rejected. But I was a little bit more astute. At this point, I already had time in the game. I already knew how this worked. I was like, okay, bet. So I continued watching the movie. We continued talking, and I steered the conversation away from the movie to my past dating experience, right? I sat there with the girl talking about what had happened in the past. Oh, yeah, you know what? Last week I went out with this girl and A, B, C, D happened. Oh, and I did this and I did that and da-da-da-da-da. Oh, and then me and my buddy went out with the girl. Actually, the girl was his friend that he was trying to get with, but I was talking to her the whole time and I ended up stealing the girl. And I started telling her all the stories of me going out with different girls and smashing. And you know what happened? Eventually, that same night, she got closer and closer to me. And one thing led to another, and I ended up cracking those cheeks. You know why? Because it showed her, the conversation showed her two things. It showed her that I no longer gave a fuck. I wasn't trying anymore to get laid. I was just being myself and talking that talk. And the second thing is it showed her that I have game and I had other girls interested in me. You know, girls look for certain signals in a man. And one of those signals, one of those validating signals is that other women are interested in him. If you're a man and you have other women interested in you and a female sees that there are other women interested in you, there's a higher chance of her being interested in you as well. You know, fear of missing out, FOMO, kicks in. So me telling this girl all of that stuff, you know, a lot of guys that don't have experience with women would say, no, don't mention any other girls to her. Wrong. You need to mention all of the girls to her. Every single time I've hung out with a girl that was not that interested in me, and I started telling her all the stories of my exploits, my sexual deviance, every single time I've done that, I've ended up hooking up with the girl. Every single time. Why? Because it shows the girl that you are in high demand. It shows the girl that you have high value. Subconsciously, you know, women will tell you, no, that's going to throw them off, blah, blah, that you can't ask a fish how to fish. So that night, I told that girl all of that stuff, everything that I had done in the past month or two, all of the girls that I'd gone out with in the past, all of the crazy stories that I had in my back pocket. And before I knew it, we were doing it. Mama! No cap, guys. No cap. But you cannot be afraid. You cannot be afraid. The problem is that most of the time, especially when you're trying to date people outside of your demographic, most of the time you're afraid that you're going to offend the person somehow or you're going to say the wrong thing. You're tippy-toeing. And my advice to you is to stop tippy-toeing. Just be yourself. Be your most bombastic self. Show them that you're not desperate, that you're not begging for some box. And I guarantee you that the girl she'll seek validation from you. I think that the problem is, and this goes to the first two things, being too nice and not telling the girl about other girls you've gone out with. I think it comes down to you being afraid of scaring the person away, but you being afraid of scaring the person away actually shows that you're desperate. Because if you weren't desperate, you wouldn't care if the person left. A guy who has abundance of women to choose from is not worried about losing a girl. Oh, I said the wrong thing and this girl left. Because he doesn't care. He has 10 other girls to pick from. And not having a scarcity mindset, having a mindset of abundance is attractive to females. Because females are looking for a guy who has abundance. They're not looking for a scarcity mindset guy. They're looking for somebody in high demand. You know, I've had this conversation in the comment sections before in arguments where somebody said, oh, why is it that if a woman has 50 bodies, people want to insult her, but if a man has 50 bodies, they put him on a pedestal? The reason is because for a man, it's much harder to get those 50 bodies. For a man, it's much harder to achieve that. The sole act of a man getting chosen by 50 women means that he's in high demand. because he's the person who's trying to sell himself, right? Women don't go out of their way to get men. They don't. It's easy for them. It's easy for them. They're in high demand, low supply. Whereas men are in high supply, low demand. So if you have a particular guy who's in high demand, it means he's high value by definition. And females are going to find that attractive whether they want to admit it or not. But you can't be afraid. You can't be afraid to be yourself. You can't be afraid to say the wrong thing because you shouldn't care. You shouldn't care. You shouldn't care. And that goes to the third thing. You know what? Now that I'm looking at all three things in my list of mistakes that you're making, the three mistakes that are killing your dating game as a black man, all three things are really the same thing. It's a fear of chasing the person away. The third thing that I wanted to bring up was not asking for anything in return. You know, a lot of these guys, they go out with a girl and they offer her the world. Oh, you need your car payment done? You need your rent? Are you hungry? Do you want to watch a movie? Do you want to go here? Do you want to go there? Do you want to go on a vacation? They offer her the world, all in return for one thing that they're afraid to even ask for. That's even the worst part about it. They're offering her everything and they're afraid to even ask for the one thing that they actually want. It's kind of sad when you think about it. But my argument is that if you're going out with a girl, you need to ask her for things. She needs to be invested in you, right? You cannot be the chaser the entire time. And I feel like a lot of the times men don't allow the women to chase. You know, they're the chaser the whole time. Women are human beings, guys. You got to remember this. Females are human beings. They want validation too. And I would argue that a man who meets a woman and gives her no validation at all will incentivize that woman to chase him more than if he comes up to her and gives her validation instantaneously. You know, a lot of the times guys will meet a girl and they will instantly give her the world. All of the validation, all of the attention right off the bat. I've seen it with my own two eyes from friends. We've gone out, we've gone to the club, we've gone to a house party. They meet some girl for the very first time. They've never talked to her ever in their entire life. And they say, "Oh, you're so interesting. You're so fascinating. I have so much in common with you." What are you talking about? You have so much in common with her. You just met her. You literally just met her. You're giving this person too much validation. I've seen it firsthand from guys. They meet some girl who's an artist. She shows them her drawings, her paintings. "Oh, these are amazing. These are so good. This should be published." Dude, you're trying too hard. You're trying too hard. When you give all of your attention away easily, when you make your attention in high supply, low demand, there will be no demand for your attention because it's easy to get. Human beings are naturally wired to think in supply and demand. And if you make yourself easily available, then you lose value. You lose value. The more you pull away from the person, the more you restrict the amount of attention you give to the person that you've just met, the more they're going to crave it and they're going to chase you for it. It's just human nature. Especially if you add the other two things to that restriction of attention. You start telling them about how valuable you are. And when I say valuably, I don't mean financially. I mean valuable emotionally. "Oh, you know, everywhere I go, the last girl I went out with, she started stalking me. She just kept on calling me, showing up at my house." You tell them a story like that makes it look like you're the hero, you're the person the girls are chasing, I guarantee you're going to get some cheeks. But like I said, most of you commit error number 2, which is you're too afraid to even mention any of your past history at all. Because you think that if you mention another girl, it's going to make her leave. It's going to make her disgusted. It's going to make her upset. You know, you're thinking about this too much like a man. Because I can understand as a man, if you're talking to a girl and she tells you about other guys, if she tells you, "Oh, last night I got cracked," you're going to be like, "Oh, this bitch is disgusting." I can see you as a man, when you're going out into the world to meet women, you need to change your perspective. And this is going to sound a little bit sus, but it's the truth. You need to change your perspective and try to see things from the female perspective, because the problem is, as a man, you're seeing everything through the male lens. And you say, I'm not going to tell her about other women that I've hooked up with recently because it's going to disgust her if I tell her that. That's because you're looking at it through the male lens. And through the male lens, if you're talking to a female and the female is telling you about all these guys that she went out with. Oh, I went out on a yacht with this guy. Oh, I went to the beach with that guy yesterday. Oh, I went to the club last night and I met 2 other dudes. You're going to be like, this girl is disgusting. She gets around. But when you're a man and you tell a female, oh yeah, man, last night I met some girl. I picked her up in my Lamborghini. And you know what? Forget the Lamborghini because that's too materialistic. That works as well, but that works for certain guys. You don't even need to do that. You don't even need to add any of those. Last night, this really attractive model, Russian model, came over and we watched a movie, and she was just, I was trying to push her off of me. She was all over me, you know? She was all over me. And I'm like, hey, you gotta calm down. Please get off of me. Get off. I had to fight her off last night, right? That was crazy. And after about 5 rounds, she finally went home. You tell a crazy story like that, and me telling you guys this story off the top of my head for this video is kind of, that's not, I would tell a similar story, but it would be, you know, when it happens in real life, it's different. You tell her a story like that, and I guarantee you she's going to be curious and ask for details. Mark my words. You know, try it. Hopefully you're not a guy who lives in scarcity and you have girls you can test this theory out on. Try it. Next time you meet a girl that you're interested in, try it. Give her a story. Don't tell her all of the details. Leave it open-ended. And I promise you she's going to ask you questions. Oh, really? When? What'd she say? Where's she from? What'd she do? She's going to ask you many questions. She's going to probe you. It's because she's getting more and more interested, because she wants to know, what did that girl see in you that I haven't been able to see? If there are women chasing this guy, why are they chasing him? What does he have? But then again, you can say I'm crazy and disregard my advice. I'm telling you guys this out of experience, right? I'm not telling you guys this theoretically. I'm telling you, I'm a guy who has met many, many girls. I hate to say it. I'm happily in a relationship now. But I've met so many, and I've used this technique multiple times. So you can take it or leave it. But I've used it many, many times in the past, and it has always worked for me. Every single time. The technique of not giving a damn. Because all 3 of those things that I just said you're messing up on, they all come down to the same thing: not giving a damn. That's all you need to do. Don't pretend to be somebody else. Don't sugarcoat your personality. Don't act like Mr. Nice Guy. Don't be afraid to talk about girls that you hooked up with in the past. Don't be afraid to ask her for stuff. Put her mouth where her money is, right? Make her sign up for an obligation. And if she doesn't like it, fuck her. Graham, get lost. It doesn't matter. Make her know that there's 100 other girls that you could be with right now, and you are giving her the time of day. Because that's the thing that females do to us. When you meet a girl and you say, well, what am I going to get? What do you bring to the table? And they tell you something stupid like, oh, you get my attention. You get to spend time with me. What they're really saying is that they are in high demand. They could be with any other dude, and that you're lucky that they're with you. But you need to flip that paradigm on its head and make them think that you're the guy, you're the main character, and they're lucky to be with you. Don't give them that validation. I promise you, if you do not give them validation right off the top, if you do not pretend to be Mr. Nice Guy, if you just don't give a fuck and you just meet the girls and treat them like they're a dude and talk about whatever the fuck you want and be yourself, I promise you, you'll get the girl. Let me know in the comments. I want to know. First of all, let me know in the comments if you agree with me or you disagree. And let me know if you do this technique, if you get rid of those 3 mistakes that you're making, Let me know how it goes for you. I want to know. I genuinely want to know. Anyways, like the video, subscribe, turn on notifications, and remember that I stream every single day at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard. I'll catch you guys later. Peace. I'm out.